Regret, that sharp, poignant, and often enduring sense of sorrow or disappointment over a past event, choice, or missed opportunity, is far more than a simple negative emotion. It is a complex psychological and cognitive phenomenon, a universal human experience that functions as a signal, a teacher, and, paradoxically, a cornerstone of our humanity. The psychology of regret reveals it to be a crucial component of our decision-making architecture, deeply intertwined with our sense of self, our understanding of time, and our capacity for counterfactual thinking, the ability to imagine what might have been. To delve into its psychology is to understand that regret is not merely about the past. It is a present-tense emotion with profound implications for future behavior, arising from the intersection of agency, comparison, and the narrative self. It persists because it is a painful, but necessary price we pay for being autonomous creatures with foresight, memory, and the power to construct alternative realities in our minds. At its core, regret is predicated on two essential cognitive conditions: a sense of personal agency and the belief that a better outcome was possible. We primarily regret our actions or inactions where we feel we had a choice. A negative outcome that was entirely externally imposed, being struck by lightning, might provoke anger or sadness, but not the specific, self-referential pang of regret. Regret requires the I at the center. I chose this path. I failed to act. I made a mistake. This links regret directly to our sense of responsibility and control. Furthermore, it is fueled by counterfactual thinking. The mind automatically generates a more favorable alternative scenario. If only I had taken that job. If only I had spoken up. If only I had tried harder. The psychologist Neil Rose describes these upward counterfactuals, imagining a better outcome, as the mental engine of regret. The sharper and more easily imaginable the better alternative, the more intense the regret. This is why near misses and close calls haunt us disproportionately. The path not taken is vividly clear. The road not taken, as in Frost's poem, makes all the difference precisely because we can so clearly envision traveling it. The temporal dimension of regret is critical and reveals a fascinating asymmetry. Research by psychologists like Daniel Gilbert and Thomas Gilovich shows that, in the short term, we tend to regret actions taken, the bold move that failed, the words said in anger. These hot regrets burn intensely immediately because their consequences are direct and visible. However, in the long run, our most persistent and profound regrets tend to be for inactions: the love not confessed, the risk not taken, the dream not pursued. These cold regrets are insidious. They are not about what we did, but about the person we never became, the life we never lived. They are regrets of the imagination, and because they are unresolved and open-ended, they can linger for decades, gaining a wistful, melancholy power. The opportunity is forever lost, and the alternative life remains perpetually idealized in the realm of what if. This suggests that over a lifetime, we come to reconcile our mistakes of commission, but we mourn forever our failures of omission, as they represent a fundamental betrayal of our own potential. The psychology of regret is also deeply social and comparative. We do not evaluate our choices in a vacuum. We measure them against the imagined or observed paths of others, a process amplified in the age of social media. FOMO, fear of missing out, is a preemptive form of social regret. When we see peers achieving milestones, traveling, or appearing happy, it can trigger regret about our own unchosen paths. This social comparison fuels the illusory superiority of the alternative. We imagine others' lives as linear successes, while ours is fraught with our own difficult choices. Regret, therefore, is often a byproduct of our theory of mind, our ability to attribute mental states to others. We Imagine their satisfaction and contrast it with our own dissatisfaction, intensifying our own sense of loss. Crucially, regret is not a monolithic or purely destructive force. Its psychological function is adaptive and instructive. It is, in essence, an emotional form of feedback. The pain of regret is aversive by design, motivating us to learn, to apologize, to correct course, and to make better decisions in the future. It is the emotional imprint of a lesson. Without regret, we would lack a powerful internal compass for growth and ethical behavior. The anticipation of future regret is a key component of prudent decision-making. We often choose to avoid actions we know we might later lament. In this sense, regret is a forward-looking emotion, a protector of our future self. However, when this adaptive function fails, regret can morph into maladaptive states, rumination, and chronic self-blame. When regret becomes a broken record, a repetitive, passive replay of the past with no forward motion, it ceases to be a teacher and becomes a jailer. It is associated with depression, anxiety, and diminished well-being. The case psychological distinction is between process regret, repetitive, intrusive dwelling, and action regret, which leads to insight, amends, or behavioral change. Ultimately, the psychology of regret is inseparable from our identity as storytelling creatures. We construct narratives of our lives to provide coherence and meaning. Regret represents a plot twist we wish we could rewrite, a chapter that clashes with our desired life story. The intensity of regret is often tied to how central the regretted event is to our core narrative identity. Failing to pursue a calling central to your self-concept will generate more profound regret than a poor financial investment on the periphery. The work of psychological integration involves editing this narrative, not by deleting the regrettable chapter, but by reframing it as a necessary turning point, a source of resilience, or a lesson without which later successes would not have been possible. This is the essence of self-forgiveness and post-traumatic growth, absorbing the regret into a larger, more compassionate self-story. In conclusion, the psychology of regret illuminates it as a profound signature of our cognitive sophistication. It emerges from our unique human capacities for agency, counterfactual imagination, temporal projection, and social comparison. It is the emotional price of a life lived with choice and consciousness. While its pain is undeniable, its purpose is ultimately preservative and progressive. It teaches us about our values, guides our future choices, and, when properly metabolized, can deepen our empathy and wisdom. To live without any regret is not to live wisely, but to live without reflection or responsibility. The goal, therefore, is not a regret-free life, an impossible and perhaps undesirable state, but to develop a relationship with regret that is discerning and constructive. We must learn to heed its signal when it offers a lesson, to make amends where possible, to grieve honestly for irreversible losses, and then, crucially, to integrate its message and redirect our narrative forward. Regret reminds us that we are authors of our lives, sometimes clumsy, sometimes courageous, but always with the power to write the next chapter with the hard-won wisdom the previous ones have provided. It is the bittersweet proof that we cared enough to imagine something better, and in that imagination lies the seed of all future improvement. Have a great day.